Excuse me. Hello and welcome to Get in Tune. It's been a while since I've been here, and I want to get started right away. So let's play the intro. Hello and welcome back. Michael Grassia. I've been gone for a while. Been a little sick, but I'm feeling healthy and back to normal. So I'm ready to get back into doing my streaming. Today, what I wanted to do was draw some mermaids with you. Why mermaids? Well, today is, what are we on? May 6th, I think? Yeah, I think it's May 6th. And years ago, I don't know how many, an artist named Tom Bancroft, who worked for Disney, created something called Mermaid, where every day you draw a mermaid, you hashtag it mermaid. This year, maybe hashtag it mermaid 2020. And he also on his website has prompts that you could do, and meaning he can give you ideas of what to draw each day. I haven't used the prompts. I actually haven't started Mermaid yet. I did a few years ago. It's fun. I just don't have the schedule that always keeps me doing Mermaid. So let's get on to the computer here, my Cintiq, and we can see some stuff. So I'm going to switch over to the Cintiq. And what I want to do is let's look at some mermaids. So this first one here, I'm going to show you these two. This was drawn by Tom Bancroft. I just Googled it, and I Googled Tom Bancroft mermaid, and these are one of the images that came up. And you could see here how he kind of has two different mermaids in style, you know, with these extra fins on the bottom one here. They're with their dolphin. You can see a little seascape background, nothing crazy. We're going to do a simple image today. This is the most known, is Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Hi, Noah, thank you. Ariel is one of my favorite. I was 13 when the movie came out. I remember not wanting to watch it because I thought it was a girls' movie, but I think we rented it maybe for my sister, or I saw it on TV or something. But I fell in love with the animation, and Little Mermaid's one of my all-time favorite Disney films. There's another one that I wanted to show you. When I was a kid, I was a big fan. I'll leave this up so you can see it. You can see the difference. Big fan of the show The Smurfs. I love the artist Peo, who created the Smurfs back in the 50s. And I don't remember if this is actually one of their stories. I have a lot of their stories in book collection. But they did a mermaid story, and I think her name was Marina or something like that. But I love the other simplistic design. Her tail is almost very fish-like. I mean, they all are, but I mean, almost like if you were to basically just draw a simple, like, goldfish or something, and she's got a human body. I like the little fins for ears. So we can get creative and do a lot of different things. Let's get to drawing, though, because that's why we're all here. So, and I got my pencil. So one of the things we want to think about is I always like to create a head. And I've talked about this in previous streams, and it's called the line of action. This helps tell the direction the body's flowing in, right? Remember, if I had a person, I'll do a human being first. I had a person right here, the body would be kind of coming in maybe like so, and right? And we got something like that. But if we were to do a mermaid and the body's turned like this, right? It's a fish. It doesn't have to follow that same pattern. The fins, if I draw them, don't have to come down like so, right? So we could use a separate line of action, something like this, like an S in what we would call an S curve. And now the bottom could come down, you see? And we can draw the fins off of it. Okay, I know that I hope that's not confusing at all. It's kind of simplistic, at least I think in my eyes. But I've been doing this for a long time. So let's actually try to draw a mermaid. And I'm going to maybe go a little simple, more like the one from the Smurfs, just to keep it easy for everyone to draw. But I'm going to bring in that second line of action. So I think what I want her doing is maybe sitting on a rock, whether she's underwater or on land. I'm gonna have her sitting on a rock. So I'm gonna start with the shape of the head. And what I like to do, and you can change the shape, we can use a circle, right? But I'm gonna change my circle up a bit, and I'm gonna kind of bring it out. I don't want it to be too much. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to erase. Let me change that to brush. And let me just erase right here. So puffing out the cheek like that, it will add some cuteness to the character. All right. Now, I'm going to have her body leaning. So her line of action is going to be right here for the first one. And then her tail, her bottom and tail are going to come around like so. All right, so I kind of got this line here. And the reason I'm doing that is because her body, which I'm going to make just kind of the simplest, very simple, let's make it a little bigger. This very simple shape. And I'll go in and clean up all this so it's a little better for everyone to see. All right, so there's her body. And one of the things, the reason I leaned her back is because I'm going to have an arm coming down, and there's her hand sitting on the rock. And now this arm I'll just have coming up, and maybe she's holding something. All right. Now let's talk about her fin. I'm going to bring her fin, and I'm going to start a little bit in here because it's going to be part of her body in the waist area. And I'm going to come down with a curved line. I'm just going to follow that curve. And I'm going to come around here, not big, but I'm going to come around and follow. All right, and remember, the eraser is your friend. I'm going to be using it in a moment. All right, let's erase a little bit around here. Now I want to think about, where do her fins come out of? We could actually pull up an actual picture of a fish if you give me 1 second. I should have done this. I didn't think of it. But so I'm just doing a quick Google search, and I got a goldfish here. So let's make that a little larger so we can see it. And I also got actually, this one is a better picture. Let's bring this picture in. Whoops, where'd that go? Why isn't it not coming in? Okay, that one's a much better. You can see the fins and stuff better on it. All right. Let's just cover this one up. Okay. so we can see the fins now. Hold on, by the way, third grade Miss Nichols class and thank you very much. I'm glad you guys are all watching. I just saw the comments for Emilio and Alicio. Now, when we're looking at the fish, we can see it's got the fins kind of have a different movement here. So they kind of go out like so. We got some that hang down. Look at that. So we got here 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 6 fins that we can see from this point of view. Do they need all those fins? No, you get to choose what fins you want to put on. Obviously, they need the bottom ones. I don't know the names. I'm not really good at that. I don't know if that's the dorsal, or I think the dorsal's back up there, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flow. I want to use curved lines, and I want to just kind of play with them in the sense of making sure they're fluid, because it's a fish and they float. They swim in water. They're very fluid. And you can see here I have her fins going that way. What if I chose, and I'll erase these fins. What if I wanted them very similar to that fish, where it kind of came out like so? You know, I want you to think about the kind of fins you like. What if we turned them in this direction, where they were kind of going like that? So think about, okay, think about the type of fins you want. I'm going to go, my fins are going to look more like this. So those are my fins. And I'll add some more in a moment. I want to start fleshing out the character a little bit more. So I'm going to thicken up the arm right here. And I'm just using straight lines. And I'm sorry, I've been drawing on the wrong layer. That happens sometimes. Let me go back and fix that. That's the one I want. Okay. So let's go back to here. Let's get the arm in here. Let's get that fin back. I'll do it the best I can. Okay, and that looks nice. The other one doesn't. There, that I like better. Okay, so I got this arm right here. Now, I also haven't decided if this is going to be a mermaid or a merman yet. I think I'll make it a mermaid because they're a little more popular. Let's see here. I'm just going to curve this arm like so. Okay. For the fingers, because this is cartoony, I don't have to worry too much. I'm just going to draw some bumps. And maybe I'll do 3 fingers here. And since they're holding something, I'm going to just draw the thumb up there. All right. Now, let's see. You know, if we go back, I'm going to turn off the pictures of the fish because I don't need them anymore. What I do want to do, though, is turn on the other pictures again, you know, so we can look here. It looks like Tom added some type of shells, or actually it looks like it could be more of a plant life, like I don't want to say coral, but some kind of, you know, plant life, seaweed or something. I'm talking for the do I want them to wear seashells or not? You can see Marina here doesn't have it. Ariel obviously has seashells. So whatever you want to do, that's fine. It's your character. It's your drawing. I'm going to add some seashells, and I think that's a popular piece. And the way to do it is to kind of draw this rounded triangle shape on both sides. And I'm going to zoom in so you can see here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some bumps to it. 2, 3. Let me do a little bit of erasing here so we can see it better. And I'm going to very lightly draw in some lines coming in to show the shell. Now, if you want, you can draw a strap. You don't need to. You can have them come from the top, the strap, however you want to do it. I'm going to leave mine with a little tiny strap down there. Okay. I'm also going to come in kind of like a little bump here, like it's a heart, almost like I'm making a very small heart. The reason I'm doing that is, for me, when I draw mermaids and the way I learned and the stuff that influenced me, because I'm a big mythology fan and all this stuff, and my love of anime, not anime, my love of mythology and anatomy. When I look at this, just think of it, anatomy wise. If I'm looking at the waist, right? Here's someone's waist area. I got this socket right there that begins your hip, right? So the leg would come down. This socket that I just made where the hip is this piece. This piece right here that I just made makes it like it's a hip. Okay. So now, let's go back to the brush. And then I'm just kind of, all right. So I'm going to add some things onto her. I think she can use another fin right around here. Okay, I don't know if you'd be able to see it on the other one. Okay, and we'll add some detail later to it. What could she be holding? You know what? I'm going to give her just a shell. So I'm going to just put a circle in there for now as reference that it's going to be a shell or something. Okay, now I'm going to add some guidelines in for the head. And we've done this before. So this line coming down is your line of symmetry. This line going across is your eye line. So for her eyes, I'm going to give her big eyes. And I'm going to add her eyelashes down here. And I'm going to make them kind of little curvy triangle-ish piece with two big pupils, leaving a highlight. All right, I'm going to give her a small little nose, and I'm going to give her a big smile. All right, and I'll open her mouth. A little curved line underneath for the chin, and some eyebrows. All right. One of the things that I learned from watching The Little Mermaid, and to me, they've done it the best. Other people have tried to do it since The Little Mermaid came out, but the hair to a mermaid, it's underwater. It's supposed to be flowing, right? My mermaid's not underwater. At least I don't think she is. We could put her on a rock underwater. If it's going to be underwater, the hair needs to be very fluid, meaning it needs to look like it's moving in that water. If you do it on land, her hair, let me just create a new layer so I don't mess it up. Her hair, if she's on land, could just come straight down, right? If it's windy out, her hair could be blowing in the wind, which is a little bit more what you'd want to do underwater, make it look like it's blowing in the wind, but it moves a little differently. So let's, for this wind here, not wind, for this hair, let's keep her, I think we're going to go underwater. She'll be on a rock underwater. So notice how I'm playing with the fluidity of these lines here. I'm just playing with the curves, and I'm going to let her here. I'll show her ear over here. Okay, I'll have her hair come down. It's coming down over here. And so she's got a lot of hair, this girl here, this mermaid, which is okay. You could give her short hair. You don't have to give her any hair at all. You could put a fin on top of the head if you want to. All right. I just like the cuteness of these type of characters. I love this whole piece here whoops, sorry. I'm just doing some touch-ups so it's a little easier for you guys to see. Now, she's on a rock, right? So we got to put the rock and her hands on the rock. So what I want to do is put the rock, start behind her. You see how I have that line over here, and I'm going to bring it in. It doesn't have to be a perfect line right now. I'm just going on both sides. And the reason I haven't drawn the bottom yet is because we could have things like wavy plant life coming up. Like, I don't know what these plants are called, but we could do things like that. Have them by themselves, maybe some rocks, little pebble pieces, right? And I'm just thinking off the top of my head here, but by creating some ovals like so, we can create forms of coral. Maybe have some going up like this. So there are different things. Maybe I'll put some rocks down here. Maybe a little wavy. All right. So you can put whatever you want. I'm not going to go all the way around and do this stuff. I'll just do a few things. You know, what I'm doing here with these little plant pieces, putting it behind makes it look like there's, you know, there's stuff behind her. We can even add in a nice, very light curve of a line. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me zoom in. I don't know. So I made these kind of curved lines here to show that there's a flat surface to the rock, but it helps add texture. So we can come in and add some lines and different pieces here. And you can see it's starting to look like that rock has some texture to it. Like it might be a little bumpy or rough or have smooth areas, right? We could even draw in fish. Now, if you want to do a simple fish, we're going to draw this sideways teardrop shape, and you can see that it's got this pointy teardrop, and that's where the fins are going to go, right? We can put an eye in there. We can give it a smile. And what else? It's got their fin right there. It's got their fin on the top. It's got their fin on the bottom. So you can see by adding just a couple of curved lines, we've got a little fish. And now to make this a shell, I'm adding a little like bump down here, and I'm just going to rough up the shape so it's not a perfect shell. And I made some bumps at the top just like I did to the side of the shell there that she's wearing. And I'm going to come around with a curved line like so, and maybe I'll do a thin one to show the inside. And it looks like she's looking into a shell. Some other things we could do is add lines in. Whoops, I don't like that. We can add some lines in for detail on the fins, right? And to show that she's got scales, we're going to draw little letter U's and connect them together. We don't want to do a lot and all over the place. It's just enough to suggest that there's that she's got scales on, and it'll add another layer of detail to her. All right, now when you're done with that, if you want, you can go over it in ink, and I'm going to lower this just a little bit just to show you what it would look like if I went over it in ink. And for that, I want, there we go, that's the one I want. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try, when you ink, whoops. Oh, I see what the problem is. Okay. When you ink, you want to try to keep the lines as smooth and as clean as possible. So for me, working digitally, that means zooming in on areas. And I'm going to cut some of that ear off and have some hair behind it. Too big of an ear. And if you need to, it's okay to turn your paper. I'm currently turning my, whoops, where'd my Photoshop go? I'm sorry. I'm currently turning my my arm, but what I should be doing is turning my paper. And I could do that in this program by just doing something like that. And now it helps make my brush flow a little better. My brush lines look cleaner. They look exactly where I want them. All right. And a little tip. If you stop a line, don't start right where you stopped. Go back a little bit and it'll connect. And it's also okay if you don't get everything, if all the lines don't connect or they overlap a little bit. You can always come in and erase, like right here, I got these 2 points. I don't like that. So I'm going to come in with the eraser and I need to change that up a bit. And maybe a little bit right there. Whoops. Wrong thing I did. So you can see here my picture's rotated. I'm going to rotate it again to get another shape I want. Let's zoom in, make sure I'm at a good angle, and I am. And now I can come in, and I don't like that. I need to zoom in more. That is too big of, whoops. I may have to, that's not bad. I can always come and fix that after. Sorry, I'm talking to myself a bit. I do that a lot when I draw. I'm just going to ink in the head so you guys can see. Give her a little nostril. I had a little tongue in there. Okay, let's do the eyes. Whoops. Okay. That one looks a little big to me compared to the eye that is closest to you should be the largest one. So I'm going to shrink this eye a bit just to... Let's bring it over there. All right, let's give her her eyebrows. I don't like that. Let's get a little... Okay, let's fill in this area here. Okay. And so that's just a little bit of the inked version of the mermaid there. I'll go in and finish inking this. I want to do some more different stuff on the background, and I'll turn it into a coloring page that you can download from getintoon.net with the other coloring pages I have up there already. So normally I spend a good hour working with you guys today. However, today I'm just getting back into this stuff. So I'm going to end it. So I want to thank, I need my glasses so I can see here. I take them off to draw. Yeah, I want to thank everyone for joining me for my first stream back. I want to get back into animation with you guys. I know I just started it right before I got sick. I'm hoping to get back to that quickly, but I want to get a few other things. I want to get a few other things done first, in the sense where just kind of warming up and getting back into what I was doing. But yeah, I'll be back on Monday at 1 p.m. right here. So thanks again, and I'll see you soon. Draw mermaids as much as you can for them this month. Make them men, make them women, make them pets too. Do a cat or a dog, you know, a mer cat or a mer dog or something. Have a lot of fun with it. All right, be creative, and I will see you on Monday. Thanks for tuning in.